Hi. Wow, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I have come here to join you all from London, where I'm based at our Meta office there, although I lead our work globally around accessibility and wearable AI. I previously lived in the APAC region. I've lived in both China and New Zealand, so it's always an absolute delight to come to this part of the world. And I have to say, one of the things that always strikes me when I'm in this region is just the real tech optimism that you have. There's a real excitement about how tech can change our lives and change society that you don't get everywhere in the world. So I always leave these events in Asia Pacific feeling really buzzed by the excitement and the optimism. So thank you for bringing all of that with you again today. My name's Matt. I lead, as I said, our work around accessibility in AI wearables, and also impact and the broader impact that the products can have in the world. I've been in the XR industry a little while, so before that I led Meta's work in education and the metaverse, and I'm still really excited by some of the things I've seen here at this conference of how XR is helping to boost learning and skills. But today, I'm going to talk about the invisible interface, and what I mean by the invisible interface, and how it's breaking down barriers for everyone. But I would want to start here. People in these images behind me are doing something very simple, which is putting on a pair of glasses, which I'm going to do the same. These are the Meta Houstones recently released in the US. There is something magical about glasses. For those of us who've worn corrective lenses a long time, and I got my first pair of glasses at about the age of 5, I think, they become a part of who we are. I can't imagine a life without my glasses. Not only do my glasses express a sense of personal style, something about who you are, but they also, obviously, allow me to see the world more clearly. But the most important thing about my glasses, and I think this will resonate with anyone else in the room wearing glasses today, is that when you put them on, you forget that they are there. They disappear. I don't see my glasses at all. In fact, I see the world around me. I see all of you. I see the color, the life, the excitement in a room, and my glasses connect me to others. So now imagine glasses with artificial intelligence embedded inside them. So the AI sees what I see, hears what I hear. But with AI glasses, the magic isn't just that the tech is becoming more capable, although it is. It's that the tech is finally getting out of the way. It's receding, it's disappearing into the background. And that's why I believe, and Meta believes, that glasses are going to be the most instinctive and natural way that we interact with artificial intelligence in the future. So, before we look forward to that future, I'd like to take you back. And please bear with me for a quick history lesson of the history of personal computing. But for the last 40 years, we've been on a journey to bring technology closer to the human experience. So, 1950s, mainframe computers. To use computing, you had to physically take yourself into a room to interact with that computing power. That drove demand to have computing power in our homes and our offices, and the desktop was born, which in turn drove the demand for computing on the move, and the laptop was born, many of you using them right now. That joy of using computers on the move led for even smaller devices that we could put in our pockets and take anywhere, and the smartphone was born. And the average person today, by the way, looks at their smartphone, I think, 166 times a day, which is quite incredible, the amount of times the smartphone comes out of your pocket. Unimaginable in the days where you used to have to take a journey to go and stand in a room with your mainframe computer. There's two things that I think are really important about this journey that we've been on. The first is that each step in this journey has been a reaction to what came before it. But, crucially, it hasn't replaced what came before it. So actually, the smartphone did not kill the laptop computer. The laptop did not kill the desktop. Maybe the desktop did kill the mainframe, but bear with me. The other thing is that When human beings used each of these forms of technology, although each step has brought greater power, it's also required a physical compromise. So we've spent decades of our lives, I've spent decades of my life, hunched over a keyboard. Anyone who does a desk job knows that you physically sort of adapt yourself to the computer in front of you. Tech neck is a real thing. We find our way around new cities now, or I certainly do, looking down at my phone, not up, not looking out. We spend our lives squinting at tiny glowing rectangles on a screen. And we've been adapting our bodies to fit the constraints of the machine, learning the language of the machine just to stay connected with each other. That's why I'm so convinced that the future is wearable. For those with the highest needs and the people I work with in the accessibility community, those advances have been even slower. It is crazy to me that we talk about artificial intelligence, and yet if you're a blind person, the most intelligent tool at your disposal is a golden retriever dog. We're a long way from being able to replace actually what a dog can do in guiding a person around the world, but we're getting there. AI and wearables are finally switching that around and making the computer adapt to us as people. And for millions of people with disabilities, this technology that I'm wearing is a route to autonomy. Claire Stanley is an advocate in the US for the blind and disabled community. She lost pretty much all of her sight at the age of 10. She's an incredible woman who has incredible bravery and brings enormous insight to our work. She described to me catching the metro in DC. And for the first time in her life now, she can use her glasses to see how long it is until a train's coming and the destination on the front of the train. Able to move around the metro in her home city totally independently because of advances in AI. She says, "I've never been able to do that before. That is independence, and it's priceless." What can Claire's story tell us about the way that technology is developing and how we harness the power of the glasses that I'm wearing for everyone? I'm going to talk today about how AI glasses are delivering that independence for people like Claire, and what that means for all of us, and what that means for how you as developers build. So, this brings us to the Meta Ray-Bans, which we believe is that next big computing shift in personal computing. The next big shift will be glasses. Just like those previous waves of technology, that doesn't mean that your phone will be replaced, but I think there's going to be more and more moments where your phone stays in your pocket. So we've sold millions of these devices in the markets, US and Europe, Australia. There are additional markets that we expect to bring online. We expect to bring these to more markets in course. But what I can tell you is that these have been a consumer hit. And lots of people, I suspect even some in this XR community in this room, thought we might have to get to full augmented reality glasses in order to have that hit. That has not been the case. In fact, people have fallen in love with staying in the moment, using open-ear audio, point-of-view cameras that capture life around you without getting in the way. I love that I can make a call on my glasses, and instead of adapting my body to the phone like this, I use my hands to express myself, as you're going to see over the next sort of 20 minutes. I like to use my hands, and I naturally express myself in that way. And I find that when I'm talking on my glasses, I feel more natural. I physically feel more natural than when I'm holding a screen to my ear. And all of this has been a hit because it is in the most beautiful form factor. Perhaps not beautiful on me, but Ray-Ban and Oakley are beautiful devices. And we're really proud of the partnership that we've got to make that tech stylish and accessible. However, it is the AI that is really driving the advances that we're seeing in technology. And it is the addition of AI that has made these devices the powerhouse that they now are. So with AI glasses, I'm able to stand in front of a monument in a new city and ask information about what it is. I'm able to get live translation for someone who doesn't speak my language directly into my ears. I'm able to get guidance on what I might be doing. How might I center this clay in a pottery workshop? All because the AI can see what I see and hear what I see. I think of wearables and AI as the power couple of this decade. The wearable provides the context. It's the senses. It knows what you're looking at. The AI provides the intelligence. It's the brain. It can process that context in real time. So asking my glasses to read the newspaper, the wearable is my eyes, the AI is my brain. These powers are only set to grow as the technology develops. The roadmap looks a little bit like this. So we are here today with AI glasses, camera-enabled, big consumer hit. At our Connect conference in September, we launched the AI glasses with a display. And then the full dream, where we're all heading to, and where I think probably this room is most excited, is when we get to AI glasses with augmented reality in them, so that we can augment the real world around us with digital virtual objects. Some of that already exists. If you've used pass-through on a Quest device, which I'm pretty sure everyone here will have done, you know where we're tracking. But the crucial thing is this wearable form factor and the addition of AI. So these are the display glasses. The display is small, and it sits just in front of you, sort of around here in your eye line. It's really bright, so you can see it even on a hot, sunny day. It has a range of apps, which I'll come to in a moment. But crucially, when you're not looking at the display, it fades away. Unlike the smartphone, it's not desperately trying to get your attention to look at the next thing. The display switches itself off so you can get back to what you're doing, and it just appears in front of you when you need it and when you need that assistance. So all of that means a whole load of new apps for these display glasses, and all of these are helping people stay more present in the moment. Pedestrian navigation. So I've been walking around my home city of London, not looking down at a map, but being able to look out to actually experience the world as I follow a little dot on a map that hovers in front of me. Being able to get live captions in real life, IRL captions, which is fantastic. It means you can stay present in a conversation, and I can get a live translation through those captions, even if someone is speaking in a different language. All of this is changing the way that people interact with their devices and leaving the phone in the pocket. And I'm pulling out my phone less and less. The final step in the journey is here, the Orion glasses. This is a prototype device. This is not a device that's on the market, and we're years away from this being a consumer model. But these pack loads and loads of computing power into a small pair of glasses. For us, it was critical that the weight was really low. So these are less than 100 grams to put on. That's because some of the power at the moment is carried in a puck, which looks a bit like that. This is a breakthrough in wearable tech. It's a pair of glasses that actually look relatively normal, but can overlay high-definition 3D holograms directly onto the physical world. And by combining advanced AI that sees what you see with that wide field of view, Orion allows you to pin virtual screens to your walls. It allows you to have your apps floating in midair, get AI to generate a recipe, and then take that recipe and pin it above your stove and follow you as you cook along. This is the result of 10 years of engineering work, and it basically fits a supercomputer into a pair of glasses. No wires, no headset. It's the most advanced AI hardware ever built. The other notable thing about each one of those new generations of personal computing is that every generation of personal computing needs a new input device. And so another scientific breakthrough that has come along with these new AI glass models is this, the metaneural band. The band reads electromagnetic signals that travel from your brain to your hand, barely perceptible muscle movements that the band can pick up and allow you to control the interface in your display. That means you can click just by clicking, you can go back by double-clicking, you can scroll by just making your hand into a fist and scrolling like this. And I think this is going to be totally critical for the mass adoption of XR tools. How many of us know deep in our hearts that when we put on an VR headset and move our hands around like this, we look a little bit silly? With AI glasses, I can have my hands behind me. They no longer have to be in the field of view of the glasses because they can pick up everything that I'm doing. So, this will have benefits for all of us. But it's no surprise that this technology, the earliest adopters of this technology and its most passionate enthusiasts to date have actually been our friends in the blind and low vision community. That is because they have had some of the biggest difficulties with using that technology in the first place. And we're now working with the blind and low vision community to think, how do we build tools for them that can then become universal for everyone? One of those is detailed responses. This is a setting available to everyone and is actually widely used now beyond blind and low vision people, but it was built for the blind. Think about Claire Stanley waiting to get her metro train. So if I ask my glasses, which actually just started talking to me, so I'm going to switch them off. If I ask my glasses, what is this scene? It might traditionally say to me, you're stood at a train station. If you're blind, that's not enough. Actually, you need to know that platform 1 and 2 are straight in front of you. The ticket machines are to your right, and actually there's a bit of a queue, so don't queue up right now. If you want actual assistance from a real person, they're directly in front of you, and the ticket office is manned. So by toggling on detailed responses, you now get all of that rich information that the AI is able to provide, which makes navigating a scene like this much easier for Claire and other blind people, but is also finding real use within the sighted community as well. We've also integrated an app called Be My Eyes. Be My Eyes is a global community of 7 million volunteers. They are volunteers that sort of sit by the phone, and I could say to my glasses now, which I won't because it will, call a volunteer, and it'll put a call through to a real sighted volunteer who can take over the controls in my glasses and describe what I'm seeing in front of me. Imagine being in one of these fantastic hawker markets in Singapore as a blind person, chaos, noise everywhere. But by being able to speak to someone who can see what I see and guide me through that environment, I can leave my cane by my side and naturally interact in that world in a really realistic way. Of course, in time, AI is going to do some of that heavy lifting too, but it's a great example of how the two technologies are combining. And it's not just the blind community for whom we're seeing those huge advances and benefits of the technology. Noah Curry is a veteran in the US who is wheelchair-bound and actually really struggles to use his limbs. He can control his device through the wristband just by thinking about the movement that he wants to make and sending that muscle signal to his wrist in order to control the display in his glasses. He describes going home for the first time and being able to take a photo of his son, which he's never able to do before because he's never been able to handle a camera, and is able to do it through that combination of AI and voice controls. Lily, in the bottom left here, is a creator with ADHD. She describes the real power of being able to just very quickly get information through the glasses without all the distraction that comes from a phone, getting a phone out of your pocket, interrupting the flow of conversation with someone else. All of these experiences are little clues about where this technology is heading. And some of that is also driving real benefits for our society and our economy. Andy Hill is a blind man in the UK, has returned to work because he's able to read his emails through his glasses. And so some of that economic development is going to be really important when we allow people to re-engage with the world and win that autonomy. Crucially, we are not doing this alone. It's really important that we work broadly and with the community that have lived experience of these issues, and we see that collaboration every single day. We recently launched our product impact grants, which, although US-based or based for organizations that are partnerships that are led by a US organization, they will start getting money into the hands of developers to think about how we build these social use cases. I'm utterly convinced that when we think about how our XR industry grows and becomes mainstream and starts to make that bridge into the mainstream, it's going to be examples like this that clear friction from people's everyday lives and break down the barriers of using tech, everyday tech, that is going to make that happen. We also last year launched our Wearables Device Access Toolkit. This is available to any developer who wants to download that and start using the functionality of the AI glasses to build. So we didn't just build all of this in a lab, we built it with the community. And it's really critical that the developer community continues to collaborate with those working to deliver social impact. It is not about the gadget. It's about the person who is now empowered to navigate their world, to do their job, and most importantly, to reconnect with the people around them without a screen standing in the way. So my ask to you is to start thinking about what it means when the tech fades away. In XR, we're used to thinking about how to immerse people in virtual worlds. And I think there will always be a place for that magical feeling of a virtual world. But with AI glasses, we actually need to think slightly differently. It's about using everything that we've learned through that journey in immersive tech to anchor people back into reality, a reality that is better interpreted, translated, and individual to them, allowing them to thrive. When the interface becomes invisible and the tech adapts to our human needs. I love my job working on accessibility because history tells us that when we design for those with a range of needs, we are in fact designing for everyone. The typewriter was built for the blind, the remote control was built for the immobile, and today we call those essential tech. And I am hopeful that the glasses you see in front of you will also come to be seen as essential tech. When we help an AI person see using glasses, or a person with hearing loss feel a conversation through live captions, we aren't just building a niche tool. We are perfecting a really sophisticated AI-human partnership. And that future of AI is not about faster processing. It's not about better chatbots, although those will come. It's about a world where no human is limited because the technology around them is finally smart enough to understand their needs. So please join us in building this world without barriers for everyone. Thank you.